Hey, how y'all doing? Welcome back. Welcome back. It's time to come on in because we have a special guest today. Well, it kind of feel like this is becoming an annual thing now, though. An annual talk with our guy Bob
Yeah.
Rathbun. And it's a beautiful time. The Hawks are poised to strike in the draft, and we're going to talk about it with Bob, along with a few other things just revolving around the Atlanta Hawks. But of course, since I have my main guy Smitty right next to me, Bob is below. Bob, how are you feeling today?
Outstanding, fellas. Good to be with you as always.
Indeed, indeed. And it's so crazy, man. We're going to go ahead and jump right into it. Bob was about to tell us a story, and we didn't want to be selfish. We wanted you guys to hear about the story as well. I brought up something behind the scenes talking about Julius Irvin, and he actually has a story that he would love to tell about Julius Irvin. So, Bob, without further ado, I'm gonna let you have the floor with that story.
Okay. Well, many older Hawks fans remember this, but some of our younger Hawks fans may not. That Julius Irving almost was an Atlanta Hawk. He had jumped from the ABA to the NBA and went to training camp with the Atlanta Hawks. And he was in camp maybe a week, and a judge ruled that he had to go back to the ABA and honor his ABA contract. But the story I wanted
Wow.
to share with you was Julius's Hawks jersey is in a home in Dunwoody, probably maybe 500 yards from where I'm speaking from you today.
Wow.
A fellow whose name you may know, Larry Conley, played at
Oh
Kentucky,
yeah. Yeah, I know
longtime
that name.
college basketball broadcaster on ESPN.
Right.
Before he started doing that, he worked for Converse, the shoe company.
Okay.
Mm.
And one of the teams that he had was the Atlanta Hawks. And he was making his rounds at training camp. And I believe the Hawks were in Savannah for that training camp.
Mhm.
And Larry was making his call, and it just so happened that he was there the day that Julius had to leave and go back to the ABA. And our longtime trainer, Joe O'Toole, had Julius's uh, Hawks jersey. And so Julius takes it off, hands it to Joe, and goes on his way back to, I think, the Virginia Squires at the time.
Mhm.
And and Joe O'Toole turned and said, "Larry, we won't need this anymore," and gave him the
Oh.
doctor's jersey. And Larry, here he is in his 80s, still with us, alive and kicking, and
Mhm.
he has still got that jersey
Oh, you got
at
to.
his house to this day.
Wow.
You
Talk
have.
about a collector's
Wow.
item, right?
Yeah, you gotta keep that.
Yeah.
That's one of one
Yeah,
right there. That
the
doesn't even
doctor.
have a price tag.
Yeah,
Oh,
crazy.
goodness. No,
I
that's
think
that's
that I think that will end up in the Georgia Hall of Fame at
It
some point.
should, right? Yep, it
indeed.
should.
It
I'll
just
take it to
should.
make it myself.
Right.
Mhm.
But the question I had to start things off, Hawks had a real good season this year, man, and I think they're on the path to growing in the right direction. We have a future star in Jalen Johnson. We talked about what's going to happen with Trey Young the last time we talked, and that's been a while.
Uh-huh.
But a lot of rumors just keep circulating and things of that nature, and it's going to be a real big offseason for the Hawks. Um, what do you think Andy Solei's game plan going forward is going to look like?
I think his stated purpose is to build a consistent contender that
Mhm.
year in and year out, we got a chance to be a top four team in the East, have home court in the first round, and be a serious threat to go to the Eastern Conference Finals and maybe the NBA Finals. That's the ultimate
Agreed.
goal at the end. I don't think he really wants to mess with the young core. These guys are still, they haven't even hit their prime yet with the
Right.
ages, what have you. I know that he's very much looking forward to adding a piece at number 8 in the draft.
Mhm.
And 23 rumors out there that we may be willing to trade that. If somebody wants to get in at the bottom of the draft, may not want to bring two guys in, but definitely want to bring one in at number 8. We also have a second
Right.
round pick at 57. So he's got some assets. But the one thing that we learned last draft about Anssi is that he is not afraid to pull the trigger on a trade. And, the hoodwinking that he did with New Orleans last year to move up and get that, what turned out to be the number 8 pick in the draft this year,
Right.
so unusual for a team that makes the playoffs to have a lottery pick that high. And yet he pulled it off. And nothing would surprise me. He's the kind of guy that he'd be hard to play poker with because you wouldn't be able to read his body language. And he's the kind of guy, I think, fellas, that, if he gets to number 8 and the guy he wants in there, I don't think he'd be afraid to trade down to get some more assets. So that's what I think. It's still 2 weeks away. I do think we have a lot to learn. There's still more guys coming in for workouts and stuff like that. But I do think that I think we'll hold on to number 8 and take the best player we can get at number 8.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'm glad you said something about trading back because Oklahoma City is looking to move up in the draft, and they have a slew of first-round picks. Do you see that as an option?
Oh, I think it'll be considered for sure. And OKC's in a tough spot. They got 3 guys coming online that are max contracts starting next season, and so they need a little relief. They don't need to add 2 more first-round picks. So they're a prime candidate to trade with to get 12 and 17 in this draft. And I think the Indiana Pacers might also be a team worth talking to. They thought they were going to have a top 5 pick, and the ping pong balls didn't fall their way, and they don't have a pick at all. So after all that pain and suffering for Indiana last year, they got Zubats, but they thought they were going to have that top 5 pick, and they don't have it. So that might be a team that Anssi might want to talk to. So, I think a lot will happen. Usually the way these things work is from now until the draft, really next week. Once all the workouts are done and the teams gather with about a week to go and they say, okay, what do you think? We've seen everybody. We've been scouting these kids for 2-3 years. What do you think? Which way should we go? And that's when they start to get down to brass tacks. And by the middle of next week, when we get ready for the draft on, I think it's Tuesday, right? They'll have their pecking order. And then, you got to be nimble on draft night because you only got 5 minutes. And when they see who goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then you start to get a feel for what's going to be available at 8. And that's when the phone starts ringing. Hey, what do you think about this and what do you think about that? So Antsi's the perfect guy to pivot at the last minute. That's what he did with the New Orleans trade last year. That all happened in a matter of minutes.
Yes, exactly. It can happen at any time. We're staying right there at the 8 spot. Now, I have to admit, a lot of Hawks fans, thousands of them, they really like the Mara kid, or Daymara, 7'3". And also, you have Mikal Brown out there as well, like those guards. You got a lot of good guards out there too. Mikal Brown, Kingston Fleming, all those different guys. I would like to know, just personally, just even taking the Hawks out of it, if you could, just which prospect do you like at 8 for the Atlanta Hawks, just overall?
I think the philosophy that any team needs to have picking 8th is you've got to get the best player available. I don't think you draft for position. I think this particular draft is guard heavy, as you guys know. I don't think you take a big that high. I just don't. I think you got to go, if it's a Mikal Brown, that's the guy. If you take, another one of these guards, then that'll be fine. But you've got to get, in your opinion, the best player available to add to this group. We need a couple things, and it's funny, the game has changed so dramatically over the last 5 years with the advent of 3-point shooting and kind of the way the game is played. It's changed a lot. But the 2 things that everybody still needs is a point guard and a center. And they are in such
Yep.
high demand. It just, where'd all the bigs go? I mean, there's usually in the draft, you could always get an international player, certainly from Europe, you could get a big, right? If you needed one. None in this draft.
Right.
I think the flavor of this draft, I think it's top heavy, to be honest. I think once you get past 6, 7, 8, I think that it really kind of falls off a little bit in terms of projecting talent. I think the one thing also, guys, you need to look at as a fan at the draft is, how many of these guys are really going to be starters, in a year or two. That's a small group. The top 4 definitely will be, but after that,
that's a good question.
A little bit of a crapshoot. So,
that
it's an amazing
10?
thing, and you guys should.
I would say 10 at most.
One time. Okay. Go back, pick any year.
Okay, go ahead.
Just do the lottery. Just say, let's go back to 2019 or 20, and just look at the lottery, the 14 teams in the lottery, and look what happened to those picks. Now, back then, we're having the same conversation we're having right now. Who do you like? Where's we do? Da-da. Look at what happened. You'll be shocked to see, first, how many players are still with their original drafting team.
Right.
2, you will be shocked to see how many guys are out of the league.
This is true.
Wow.
And number 3, you'll be shocked to see how many guys didn't get the second contract. They were traded, they were free agents, whatever. It's crazy. So this is I know the fans get all wrapped up in it, and these draft experts have made it a cottage industry. But this is, as young as these players are now at the top of the draft, it is an absolute crapshoot. You don't know where you're going to get these players. You hope to God that, you hit a home run, but probably you're not going to hit a home run. Look at where some of these guys were drafted. Jalen Brunson.
Right.
Nikola Jokic. Giannis. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. I mean,
Jalen Johnson.
Oh, yeah. He was 20th.
Yeah.
You don't know. You just don't know. And I speak for the 30 clubs and their player personnel. You just do the best you can and hope for the best. And if it works, great. If it doesn't, get rid of them before the rest of the world knows they can't play. That's kind of the attitude you have to have. It's kind of cold, but I mean, that's kind of the attitude you have to have.
Yeah, that's basketball because the roster is much shorter than a baseball club or NFL roster. So, I mean, it's a crapshoot. But I'm glad you said something about the draft and knowing what you got. Asa Newell is another guy that I'm interested to see how he's going to turn out. He was back and forth between Atlanta and College Park last year. Can he take that big leap to make a contribution to this lineup in 2026?
I think so, Smitty. I really do. I like this kid a lot. I think he's got he just needs to go play. And he's already at the point in his career that he's going to kill the G League. I mean, the stats he had down there are ridiculous. So that kind of proves to you that he's better than that level already. And now, he's kind of stuck behind Jalen right now. But I think he's got so much growth potential in his game. Just the tip of the iceberg. And another young guy, this is going to be a great year for him. Wouldn't shock me to see him in the rotation next season.
Love it. Love it.
Man. I like A a lot because he can around the rim already really nice. It's a lot of his game that you saw in Georgia. I feel like already is transitioning to the NBA, and then that 3-point shot.
Yep.
That was a lot of things that people were trying to knock him for, but he's coming down and he's knocking down shots. So I'm just looking at the critics like, what can you say now? But yeah, I really like Asa a lot.
Yeah.
And
He's
just
just got to
talking
get the
about just staying
experience.
right here now. Yeah. Oh, yes. Opportunities.
Yep.
I got a two-part question for you, but they tie in
Okay.
together. Now, Snyder, he received his contract extension. I want to know, what does that mean as far as like the Atlanta Hawks trying to stay with some sustainability and continuity with the team. Also, having back-to-back most improved players. What does that say for not only the system but just the overall coaching staff?
We're so lucky to have Quinn. He was a top 5 coach when he came. He's a top 5 coach now. And I'm so happy and proud to have him as our head coach. And if you had any questions about Quinn Snyder's coaching ability, look at what happened after the team made all these trades.
Mm-hmm.
If they would have voted for coach of the year from January the 15th to the end of the season instead of the whole year,
He wins.
I think Quinn
He
would have
wins.
won in a landslide. You can't imagine, fellas, how hard it is to retool your entire offense, defense, 7 players new to the team at the trade deadline and turn it around like they did. And that is an awesome job turned in by Quinn. He deserves every penny of that extension. He's fantastic, and he and Ansi make a great team, which it's very rare in the NBA that you've got your coach and your GM in lockstep.
Right.
That's huge. Number 2, about the most improved players you talked about, Chris. This is a tremendous endorsement for the staff. This has never happened in the history of the since we've given out this award. You know,
Wow.
to win one is great, and to win back-to-backs unprecedented. And it really does speak to the depth and quality of this coaching staff. I mean, these guys are amazing. Quinn, when he came and put his first staff together, he said, "This is the best coaching staff I've ever had." And we've to show you how much they think of the operation. Look at how many coaches have left for other opportunities. Brittany Donaldson goes to the WNBA as a lead assistant. Ronald Nored's the new head coach at Butler. He took Connor Barney with him, who did our challenges. He's with him.
It's him.
Ryan Schmidt might be the next coach of the Chicago Bulls. So the rest of the world acknowledges what we've known, that this staff is fantastic. And, we've still got great coaches. Stevie Cly, who was the head man at College Park, is going to come to the front of the bench next year. You've got Tony Lang. You got Brian Bailey, who interviewed for the Portland job. They'll be at the front of the bench, retooled back of the bench. Mike Bray's still there, mentoring these young coaches. It's a great setup, guys. I'm telling you, they do a fantastic job.
Great developmental staff, and that's what I love about it. Because I can remember the last time we talked about the Hawks having a developmental staff. But speaking of Anzi and the way him and Quinn work together, I had something come across my mind, and me and Chris talked about this just a little bit. Depending on which way we go in the draft, could you see them we have the cap space? Could you see them going out and then probably making a deal for a guy like a Rudy Gobert, since Quinn coached him in in Utah? Or could you see Walker Kessler, them trying to get him from Utah as well? Because if you get a guard in this draft that can, put up points and be that wing guy you still need a big man. So would a trade be the most affordable way to go when you're talking about a big man?
It could be. I mean, the question you always ask yourself, at what cost? Who do you lose in the trade? And overall, does the package make you better? But if it were me, and Auntie does not call me for advice, which is a good thing. He doesn't call me. But if it were me, I would say to Walker Kessler, "Come home, young man. And here's what we're going to do."
That's what I'm talking about.
Here's what we're going to do, Utah. We're going to front load this contract so heavy that it's going to make you think twice about signing him.
Yes, sir.
Because we do have the cap. We do have the cap room, to make a move like that. But we got to get on. We got to get Onyeka some help. I mean,
Yes.
Absolutely.
The poor dude, man. He played the third most minutes of any center in the league last year.
Yes, he did.
And I thought it took its toll on him. And you saw
Oh
what
yeah.
happened in the Knicks series. I mean,
Yeah. By game 3, he
it
was through.
just, yeah, but I mean, he's given up 6-8 inches to these dudes, to Carl
Yeah.
Anthony and to Mitch
Yo.
Robinson.
Right.
It's a lot to ask. But he's really good player, and he's going to get better, but he needs some help. And that's why losing Jock Landale was, really
Huge.
hurt.
Yeah.
We just didn't have that next guy to put in there against the Knicks. And I think Jock will be back. I hope.
I hope he do.
He's
I
going to
hope
be
he do.
back.
Yeah.
Price has got to be right. He's an unrestricted free agent,
Right.
but I know he wants to come back. And we got to get some size. We got to get some bigs. I mean, there's just no doubt about it. We got to get, and it's not just the height, guys. It's the girth. It's the strength and the, Risache. He's got to come back 15 pounds heavier on the frame.
I agree.
He just has to. He just has to.
He added some
He
muscle.
can't survive in
He
this
added some
league
muscle.
without it.
Muscle on though, and he's
So-
in the.
Yeah, he
Yeah, go
added
ahead.
some muscle. So go ahead,
Yeah,
Chris.
he's got to. He's got to. And he's going to be playing for the national team here in the next week or so,
Right.
I think, in
Yeah,
France.
yeah,
So we'll keep an
yeah.
eye on that. But he's got to make that leap, man. He's got to
It's
take
time.
that next step, get back in the
Agreed.
rotation. Yep.
Agreed.
Now, Bob, you've seen a lot of basketball up close and personal, and Jalen Johnson. Now I feel like Jalen was given this team pretty much, of course, after the Trae Young deal and everything, but I feel like he still excelled for a guy who coming into the season didn't realize the events were going to, happen the way it did, and to be called upon soon. And what do you have to say to Hawks fans who may be a little impatient and feel like Jalen Johnson is not the superstar that some people think he is? But I mean, I'm just saying, like, this was given the team, and I've been saying personally, hey, give him an offseason and let him, retool himself and come in with a different mindset, already knowing more so than what some fans are probably saying about him right now.
Yeah. He's doing great. He had a wonderful season. To be all NBA third team is mind-boggling, giving his background, the way that he's come up through the ranks to earn all this recognition, being an all-star for the first time. He's doing great. He's at a great spot. But when I look at Jalen Johnson, he's got so much more to give.
Yeah.
Playing through contact, being the number one guy on the opposition's scouting report. You saw it in the playoffs. That's why I was so thrilled that we made it for Jalen, Dyson, Onyeka, Nikhil, as a young core group. Get into that fire, man, and see what this is all about. The Knicks, people forget, they've been together a while.
They have.
And they have been frustrated in the playoffs. They had to take their bumps and bruises to get where they are. It was a bitter pill for them last year. They lost that first game against Indiana and never could recover. The finals have been crazy, but you got to go through it. And for the Hawks, we were that close to missing the play-in tournament before we made all those trades. People forget we languished in 10th place most of the season, then we got up to 9th. And everybody kept saying, well, you're winning all these games, but you're not moving up in the standings. And lo and behold, we kept winning and got that thing up to 6th and could have gotten 5th.
Yeah.
Remarkable. So, you got to take it in incremental steps, I think. There's not too many teams that make that big jump from one year to the next. San Antonio's going through it, but they've got a big dude that's, probably going to be the next big thing, right, in the NBA. We don't have that. So we've got to take, like Detroit, like New York, you just got to take it step by step and get a little bit better. So course, that's a long-winded answer to your Jalen Johnson question, but I think Jalen sort of epitomizes, where we are.
Yeah.
Really
Right.
good, and got a great opportunity to get a lot better. But I would say to Hawks fans, trust Anssi, trust Quinn, let this thing play out. They know what they're doing, and they'll put pieces together around Jalen and around the other guys to make this thing better. And look, I'm going to tell you something else.
Mhm.
Don't get hung up on win totals next year. How many did we win this year? What do we win?
46.
46?
46.
Unbelievable. It's going to be hard for any team next year, unless you're just, super at the top, to win 46 games. And I'll tell you why. The tanking rules.
Yeah.
We are not going to have 10 teams in the league purposely trying to lose and everybody fattening up their record playing these guys, playing Utah,
Right.
playing Washington. And
Right.
those days are over. So it's going to be much more of a slugfest. I will take 46 wins for next year's Hawks right now. Timestamp it. Give it to me. I will take 46 wins and think we'd have a great season, which we would. So I would not get hung up next year like, okay, 46 and sixth place is the low bar, for this team. We got to be better than that. No,
Agreed.
Don't take the rat poison on that one, because the East is going to be much more competitive.
Oh yeah.
No, I agree.
My last question. We talking about next year and how it's going to be hard to win. Jalen needs a sidekick. If you had a choice of who the Hawks should go get to get him the right sidekick, who would it be?
Boy, I think he's got pretty good sidekicks as it is. I mean, Nickeil Alexander-Walker averages 20 points a game.
He broke out.
He came out of
Yeah.
nowhere. Nobody expected that. I think Dyson's going to come back a better player. He's 22 years old. I mean, these guys are just getting going.
Young.
And I think the thing we do need a ball handler. Okay. Which I think we're going to take care of with the 8th pick, would be my guess, my looking into the crystal ball. But we got to get bigger. We got to get bigger, and we've got to get tougher. We got to get meaner,
Yes.
stand in there and fight these guys toe to toe, and not worry about finesse ball and go play bully ball sometimes. And that's why missing Jock really hurt us on that one, because he kind of would set the tone for that second unit. But I think the future's bright. Just let Anssi cook, man.
I can roll with that.
This dude knows what he is doing, and he'll get the right pieces. And he's not the guy that's going to, worry about what's being said on Twitter or Instagram. This dude is locked in. He comes from San Antonio and Golden State, two pretty good programs, and he's brought all that. He's got a great coaching staff. He's got great scouts. I love this time of year because I get to spend time with the scouts.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't see them all year. They don't live here, and they're out covering games. But now they're all in for the draft, and to spend time with them, he's got a wonderful coaching staff and a wonderful scouting staff. We're in as strong a position as we've been in years. We got a plan. We're gonna stick to the plan, and it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, it's looking like 2015 all over again.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But
I will say this
with one difference, and that is we don't have old guys.
Agreed.
We don't have guys in their 30s and Corver and Millsap and guys like that.
Right.
Respect to them.
These guys are young.
Right.
Yeah.
My last question. Now, I wouldn't be right if I didn't ask, because of course I know that we both, even though we're past that era, we both still love the guy. I want to know, like, when you first really got the news about Trae Young and that we were actually going to trade him, what was your honest reaction to that?
I really felt like it's good for both parties.
Mm.
You know, I thought like Trey needs a fresh start, and I thought the Hawks needed a fresh start. 7.5 years, you know, a long time. He took us places we've never been. We were 2 wins away from the NBA Finals with Trey.
Agreed.
He's our all-time leading assist guy. You know, he did so many things and still has a ton of fans in town. But I thought a fresh start for everybody was a good thing. Number 2, and this is no fault of Trey, John Morant, you name a smallish guard, Garland, any of these guys, the game has changed.
Agreed.
The rules have changed. You know, when Trey was cooking Simmons in the playoffs, you couldn't touch anybody. That's right. Trey's going to the line 15 times a game. Those days are over. Over. Okay? And everybody now has 6'6" point guards and 6'8" two guards, right? That wasn't the case 8 years ago. So the game has changed. And Trey's going to have to change with that to be successful in Washington. And I'm not saying that he can't, but it's a different ball game.
Oh,
You know,
yes.
you cannot be a low efficiency player anymore. These cats are out to defend you. And
Agreed.
and listen, he is as good a passer as I've ever seen. I mean, I would rate, because of his size, I would rate Trey Young as one of the greatest passers, you know, certainly we've ever had, you know, with Pistol Pete and all those guys. Yeah, but I mean, you know, Magic and all these, they're so much taller. I mean, what was Magic? 6'8", 6'9"?
6'9". Yeah.
You know, Trey's 6 feet nothing and doing all this, you know? So given that, you know, he's a remarkable passer. But, you know, we had 7.5 years together. I thought it kind of ran its course. And good for Trey. He's got a great landing spot with a good young team. He's probably going to have A.J. DeBanza with him next year. And Anthony Davis and that young Washington team, I think it's a good opportunity for him.
Yeah, excellent opportunity. Excellent.
I love it. I love it. I tell you what, Bob, we appreciate you coming through so much. We know you gotta run because you're a busy man. It's hard catching up with Bob, but we appreciate you taking out of your busy schedule, man. Like, seriously,
it's hard to hit a moving target.
Boy,
true. Believe you me, that is true. But I tell you what, before you get out of here, won't you tell everybody about the clubhouse? I seen like that program and everything.
Oh yeah.
About. So could you please just on your way out tell everybody about the clubhouse?
Sure. If you dial up the clubhouse on General Sports Worldwide, me and my speaking partner Des Thornton, we do a series of communication tips. So if you're into certainly any kind of sales position, check it out. Tips to help you be a better communicator. If you're a coach, a teacher, it's really geared toward these young professionals just starting out in their career, and how important it is to speak well and present well, because it makes such a difference in your ability to lead people, teams, etc. So check it out. Thank you for mentioning that. Yeah, I love Des. He's my man, and we put these little snippets together. They run about, I don't know, about 3-4 minutes a piece. Funny you mentioned it. We're recording a whole new batch tomorrow.
Wow.
So we have fresh material for our students. But check it out free of charge, and you can jump on and get a subscription, no charge at all, and you can get it. The fellow who used to be my boss with the Hawks and the marketing side, a fellow by the name of Lou DePauli, who ran teams, baseball, basketball, worked at the NBA office. It's his company, and he allows us to have a little corner of that space to do this. So we're trying to make the most of it, and I hope everybody joins in.
That's pretty cool.
Definitely dope.
Pretty cool.
Bob, we're going to be looking for you at the draft. I'm pretty sure you're going to be at the draft party, but we're going to be looking for you there. And we're also going to be, can't wait to hear you again, you know what I'm saying, going across the play-by-play airwaves, doing what you do,
Absolutely.
and being that's one of the best in the business to ever do it. Definitely to come through
Thanks.
my airwaves. And I'm pretty sure Smitty can say the same and others in
Oh
the
yeah,
chat.
I've been watching Bob since I
Well,
was a
thank
teeny
you.
type.
I love it. I love it. You know, we get through the draft and then we get through summer league, and then I start pacing. Where's the
Mm-hmm.
schedule? Where's the schedule? You know,
So
one day
is it
closer
safe
to
to
training
say?
camp.
Is it safe to say we can have you back on right before the season starts?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
One.
So we'll be waiting for that. We'll be waiting. Trust me.
Oh, yeah. We're gonna
we
do it.
want to hear. We want to know your thoughts going
Yeah.
into the new season. Absolutely.
Perfect, guys. Appreciate it.
All right. Now enjoy the rest of your evening, Bob.
Okay. Thank you, guys. All the best.
Thank you, Bob. No doubt.
Okay.
Oh yeah, Bob Rathbun, y'all. Hey man, that's the legend, broadcast legend, just like it says right there, broadcast legend, Bob Rathbun. I meant to dang it, I meant to congratulate him again because he just won yet another regional Emmy. I believe it's like 12th in a row or something
Yeah,
like that.
about 12, 13. He's somewhere up there. But
Yeah,
we got to
he's
give a
up there.
shout out to our boy while we on air. Shout out to our boy. Let's get it for that dope background. We appreciate you, my brother, for doing that for us. I ain't got them many muscles, but it works for me. But
He's
let's get it. We appreciate you, my guy. John, what's good,
yes.
my guy? He said, perfect said, Bob. Since the draft is guard heavy, we should get the best center out there, then come back to the guard spot. I mean, it depends because if they trade that 23 pick, they may trade it for another guard. Who knows? Because there are going to be some teams out here selling because they don't want to pay those big contracts. So if y'all see a big move out there for that 23 pick, just do not be surprised.
Absolutely. And shout out to the chat again, man. We appreciate y'all coming through, having Bob on. If you're just coming in, make sure y'all catch it from the beginning and see all the questions we asked Bob and his responses. I feel like, you know, Bob gave some real good responses to every question, like he always does. But still, man,
Right.
y'all make sure y'all check it out. And shoot, man, again, that's back-to-back legends, man, in 1 week, Smitty. It's not
Hey,
too shabby.
and we ain't done. We far from done.
Mm-hmm.
We just gonna keep rolling
Hey,
until
we're
we can, man. But we'll try to get somebody else on soon. These interviews are tough to get, man. Trust me, they are because these people and players and journalists they just super busy all the time, man. So we can get somebody to roll through to talk to y'all for 30 minutes to an hour. It just because we try to get y'all the best content out there.
that's
But
it. That's it.
yeah, man, you know what to do, man. You gonna take us out.
Hey man, A1 Forever Sports. That's the platform on YouTube. Come over, like, comment, and subscribe. Be a part of the A1 family. I know YouTube been kind of glitchy lately, but hey, at the end of the day, man, still just come on over and be a part of it because I know I've been having some people tell me, hey man, I'm not even getting notifications and all this other stuff. So I don't know what YouTube got going on. But yeah, we appreciate the ones who did pull up, and hopefully everyone will be able to see this video and hear Bob's words. And also TikTok TikTok the real A1 Forever, Instagram A1 Forever, also Twitter A1 Forever, and also want to let y'all know if y'all missed the Terrence Mathis interview, you gotta
Please
go check
it
that
out.
one out too.
Please go
because
check it
that
out.
was a great,
Please go check it out.
so much fun. I was getting like a kid. I ain't gonna lie to you, I had so much fun with that one. But yeah, so
Yeah.
make sure y'all check out the Terrence Mathis along with this Bob Rathbun as well. We appreciate you guys as always. And remember, find your peace today because positive energy always creates elevation. And be generational because it's always time.
Amen. But I got to give a shout out to this guy right here, right next to me. Shout out to him for putting together this interview, man. He putting in hard work just like I am. So when y'all come to my page, don't think I'm doing everything by myself. He's behind the scenes working just as hard as I am. So I got to give a shout out to my road dog right next to me. So Chris, shout out to you, my guy.
Oh, yeah.
And you know where to find me, man. Right here on Smitty Sports Machine. As I give y'all the latest news on the Atlanta Falcons, and I give y'all my thoughts on other hot topics in sports. If I see fit for it to get my attention, but hey, I'm not only Atlanta Falcons. I talk all sports. As you see, we talk Falcons and Hawks all the time. We got to get back into some Braves talk because they're having a hell of a season. They're on a 2-game losing streak, but don't fret because it's baseball. It's a very long season. They still got about 100 games left to go. So, look, this has been another great show. Find me on Twitter at fatboyslam_21 because I'm always over there blowing that thing up because that's what I do. Also, find me right here on Smitty's Sports Machine Daily, just like I said. But for my boy Chris, this your boy Antoine Smith-Smith, we're going to roll on out of here and see what we can cook up for the next show. And we're going to roll on out, man. Peace.